Welcome to the freewheeling cavalcade of circular motion, thus defined by the octagon table of double-wide mental introspection and dedicated utilitarian outward thinking in defense of zero content. Translation: we ain't got nothing.
All right, let me stop playing with Binky here and whoa, wait, stop, Bink. Whoa, whew. Too many lights, too bright, too many lights in the city. Oh man. All right, how you folks doing tonight? Good stuff like that there. Let me refire up the old new laptop, not the new old laptop, but the old new laptop. That's what it is. The old new laptop. So reboot. Currently running it. Looking at stuff. See myself in the chat room. Let's see. Martina Sasquatch. Dude, you were like on. Wow. Anyway, appreciate you guys hanging out with me tonight on our first day of a new enterprise called the U.S. government can't get its... hang on a second here. I got this one, sound guy. The U.S. government can't get its act together because it might make entirely too much sense when, these two guys get together and... Okay, yeah, it's definitely caca, but sound guy, it was not anything other previous, okay?
Don't want to come. Do not come. Do not come. Don't come.
All right, well, anyway, so, I have an alarm set so I can, okay, cool. So he's got an alarm set. Cool. Let's see. Scrolly. That's really strange, though. It's like it's updating faster on my phone than on the computer. Let me try rebooting this thing again real quick here. This computer probably is not long for the world because it's already getting on my frickin' nerves. Let's see. Let's do timestamps on there. Yes. Reactions, yes. Participants, I'm not going to mess with anything else. Okay, I just like having timestamps in there so I can see, how the comments are going in the chat room and how they're evolving and good stuff like that there. I do see I have more than one person in the room. I truly appreciate you guys hanging out with me. Even if you decide not to take part in the chat room, any participation is drastically, completely, and absolutely completely appreciated, as it were. Now, I did have a quiet week last week because, Mrs. Dude was, she was doing something different, okay? What kind of crazy stuff was she doing? She was out of town, and she was doing out-of-town type stuff, someplace else. Hang on a second. Let me find the appropriate ambiance here. Hang on a second here. Where the heck did I put that at? No, I know where it is, sound guy. Don't. Sound guy, stop.
Death!
Okay, it's not death by
Dickhead!
Okay, yeah, I don't have it right in front of me, okay? Stop. Jeez. Let's see. No, I don't need you to cut in, okay? Stop. Let's see.
Enough is enough! I have had it with these mother... on this mother... plane! Everybody strap in! I'm about to open some windows.
Okay, it's not cats on a plane, okay? Stop. Jeez. Hang on a second here. Hang on a second. Okay, that's what it might be under. I'm trying to find something specific here, and sometimes my own filing system comes back and no, stop. It's not that. Okay, stop. Hmm. Hang on a second here. Okay, this is gonna drive me nuts because I know it's. Okay, I didn't break it, sound guy. Hang on a second here. I want to find the appropriate music so I can transition appropriately. It's not that far in the file. What the heck is that stupid thing? Okay, the biggest problem is sometimes I register things in certain parts of the music files and I forget what I named them. Oops. No. Stop. It was not that. Sound guy. I'm hitting the stop button. Stop. No. It was not. Anyway. Oh man, this is gonna suck because I know what I'm looking for here. Oh. Why in the hell didn't it pull it up with that lookup? Okay, well, anyway, Mrs. Dude last week. Sorry about the interlude of me just going, where the heck did I put this stupid thing? Anyway, I did find it. Would you stop? Okay, well, anyway, Mrs. Dude was out of town, and where did she go? She went down to Florida, and where did she go? Yeah. She went down south, and she went to Didney. So Didneey. She went to Didney in Florida. Okay, I could say Disney. I'm playing around here. But anyway, you know what? Stop. Enough of that. That horror show it's just bloody damn annoying. And I don't know why in the hell I didn't find it by finding it with looking up the one word that was the key word there. Anyway, in any way, shape, or form, what I was looking for essentially was she went down there for a week. The brother and sister-in-law are absolute beyond crazy Disney guys. They have a timeshare down there. They'll get a year pass and they'll go down multiple times. So, Mrs. Dude got me a really kind of cool t-shirt. She got me a Muppet Labs t-shirt, which, I just think is hilarious. Dr. Bunsen, Honeydew, and Beaker, and, all the various experiments, and it's just fun stuff. Now, what else did she do? Well, she was down there, and the big thing down there right now, of course, is anything huge is the massively, unbelievably, like very correct Tatooine type landscape where you literally could walk around. There's Millennium Falcon and there's like the cantina, and obviously it looks like you're walking around on Tatooine. So Mrs. Dude being Mrs. Dude's like, well, what can I get Dude? Because he pretty much has everything. Let me get him something kind of cool. Well, the easy way that we tend to make notice of various things we've done or, family trips that we have made is we get a refrigerator magnet. Almost always we'll go to a destination. So literally I have refrigerator magnets from, just the latest one was Nassau, obviously. St. Martin's, obviously, other places that we've been. Of course, obviously, something most definitely coming in from Kennedy Space Center because, I'm such a, space nut. But anyway, so way, shape, and form, she went down there. She was doing the thing with the various, ins and outs of Disney, and she went to that, Star Wars type thing. And what did she tend to get me? Well, she got me this. Yeah, little Millennium Falcon, but it's not just the Millennium Falcon. It is a fridge magnet. It's got a couple of magnets there, neodymium guys. It is a bottle opener and a bottle cap unscrewer. So if I'm gonna party down like they party down in the cantina, I am now set with my Millennium Falcon bottle opener that is a fridge magnet. It's actually pretty good size too. It's not small. I mean, in terms of the size of my hand and all, it's kind of a big piece. I mean, and the detail wise, it's it's obviously something that they crank out really fast. The painting on it is kind of just momentary at best. But anyway, way, shape, and form, which we did there. They now basically have this thing. Way, shape, and form, good stuff like that there. Give me 1 second here. I gotta touch base. All right. Anyway, so she basically got me this. I believe she got herself a couple things. She got herself a fridge magnet too, but it's just Chip and Dale. It's actually kind of cute. So it's like about the size of a 50-cent piece, and one side is Chip. You flip it over, the other side is Dale. Now, what do these guys really look like that's so different from one another? One of them has a bigger nose than the other. That's literally the only difference between these two chipmunks is one has a big nose and the other one is, normal size. And I think one is black and one is red. Well, anyway, so I thought that was just kind of cool, something kind of small, keepsake, kind of cool stuff. But I'm not going to put this on the family fridge magnet side. I'm going to put it expressly on the other side of the fridge because the area that I have set aside for literally all the trip stuff, that's all things that we've done together as a group. Obviously, going to various states of the union, obvious destination places, well, all those things I've actually put up on that side of the fridge. On the other side of the fridge is things that we've done as couple trips. Actually, Nassau would be the couple trip side. So, the niece wasn't along on that one. That was a cruise that Mrs. Dude and I did literally in February and left out of Brooklyn, went out of Brooklyn, went down to Port Canaveral for a resupply because it's way so much cheaper to fuel up and get supplies on board in Florida versus doing it up in New York. New York is unbelievably expensive. Excuse me one second here. And in a related note on that one, the cruise terminal itself was like, oh, sure, yeah, you could park here, buddy. No problem at all. We'll let you park here. They wanted me to park there, and it would have been seven days. Hang on a second here. Let me keep myself honest. No, that's the wrong button. I'm trying to use the old calculator. I think that's it right there. Yeah, it would have been $45 a day for 7 days of parking, so it would have been $315 to park at the Brooklyn Cruise Terminal. Now, the thing about it is obviously if I parked there, I would be defraying the cost of the Uber, but Mrs. Dude and I always, and you're saying the audio is popping. I don't know, man. I'm running the same microphone I've been running. Hopefully that's not sketched up on me now. Well, anyway, so way, shape, and form, which we found ourselves, we never ever go to plane directly to boat because there's way too many things that could go screwing up. We simply don't do that. So, way, shape, and form, which we found ourselves, I might have to drop my volume a little bit. Maybe I'm talking a little loud. So anyway, way, shape, and form, which we found ourselves, it stopped 45 seconds ago. Good times. So anyway, so we always go plane to hotel, spend the night locally, and then get on the boat. Because essentially when you're driving or you're doing air travel or anything can really, really screw up. And when you've made that kind of an investment in a cruise, you want to be local in case something is really, really, really weird. You're already 99%, there. Well, so anyway, we stayed at a hotel on the backside of Newark Airport, and we were, about 45 minutes away from that side of New York City. So literally what it is like Newark is here. The Statue of Liberty would be like right about here. You got the Jersey Shore. You got to cross the water. There's obviously the tip of Manhattan. On the other side of the tip of Manhattan, you go across another border line of water. Obviously, Manhattan is truly an island, 3 miles wide, 13 miles long. So you go on the other side of that waterway, that's Brooklyn. And then, of course, on that bit of it, you can look across about 1.5 miles away is the Statue of Liberty. Of course, running directly abreast of us is Governor's Island. West of that, it would be Ellis Island. So Governor's Island, Ellis Island, Statue of Liberty, all within, very easy view of our, with a balcony cabin. So literally we're on the port side of the boat. We were docked up starboard side. The boat backs up. The boat hangs, a 180 and then goes out underneath the Tappan Zee? No. It was one of the other bridges. I forget which one it is. Well, anyway, so we decided we're going to stay local there, catch an Uber in and an Uber out. And yes, it was probably pretty close to $5. But the thing about it is I didn't want to spend $315 in terms of, driving up there, mad dash, got to be there on time, got to hit the parking spaces, because that boat carried about 4,600 people. So when that boat let out, it took a long time to get everybody off the boat. Mostly because there was 2 gangplanks on the boat. One of them was broken. So we had the joy of walking back across and around and all through the boat, yet again doing a conga line, getting out of the boat for about 2.5 hours. I don't even want to get into that one. It wasn't the fault of MSC, the cruise line. That was the fault of the Brooklyn guys having one of their gangplanks break. Ugh. So, truly, absolutely annoying. Anyway, let me jump over here to the news and get into it. Hopefully the audio has now cleaned itself up. I don't know why it was doing that. I didn't change any settings, and literally all it is I have an external microphone plugged into a phone, and then the phone is obviously plugged into a power source to keep it charged up. All right, so getting in here and looking at the news. Hang on a second here. Let me get the correct computer. I don't know if you guys saw this one or not, but, obviously, the government shutdown is going to take place because, the Democrats couldn't keep their act together and they couldn't actually play nice. Well, it's getting very, very interesting what Trump says he's going to be doing while they're in, quote unquote, recess. Excuse me one second here. So, F. Chuck Schumer knows he is F. chucked. How bad? Well, everything that he said that the Democrats are for and the Republicans are absolutely against, let's just say that Trump now has full and complete ability to say, you know what? I am just gonna,
I say we take off and nuke the entire bitch from orbit.
Yeah, and there's no uncertain terms. Trump is really just going to look at that process of, okay, let's look at these and look at that and all these other things that they've thrown at us by the wayside and all these other excessive expenditures and
No, 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 hell no, 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 I refuse, no.
Yeah, it's not going to fly, okay? Anyway, so Scrolly, it is going to be really interesting to see how the Democrats try to pull their, nuts out of the fire on this one. Patriot Fever, appreciate you coming on by, dude. So how they pull themselves and pull their nuts out of the fire on this one, because Trump right now literally is holding all the Trump cards. Literally, quite, absolutely, literally. If you guys heard about this one, I think this is absolutely blanking hilarious. So they keep going on and on about, how efficient hybrids are and, these EVs, this, that, and the other thing are going to be so much better for the environment. They really don't get into the fact that manufacturing EVs is way more energy expensive. Literally, like, you're moving stuff around the planet a lot more. You're digging a lot more stuff out of the ground. You can't really recycle these things when you're making them because they are usually new process. And recycling EV batteries is kind of new tech, and it's really kind of still in its infancy. So, Scotland. Scotland now has a new green ferry. Well, here's the problem. It actually puts out and farts out and spits out way more CO, like carbon dioxide, but you would than you would ever want to shake a stick at.
But I pooped from there.
Sound guy, stop. Anyway, so this thing is cranking out scads, more CO2. Sound guy, no, it doesn't sound like that, okay? It's a boat. It's a boat. No, that doesn't even sound like a boat horn, all right? That doesn't sound like a boat horn. That sounded closer.
Fatality.
Stop, okay? Just
Relax, don't do it.
relax and plays a fart sound. Anyway, so Scotland's new green ferry, the MV Glen Sanogs, so Sannox, has controversially been found to admit 33% more CO equivalent annually than older diesel vessels it was designed to replace. He's going to be doing this through the whole story, I'm sure. The increased climate impact is primarily due to the ferry's larger size and greater energy needs, combined with the environmental pitfalls of its liquefied natural gas. Don't do it.
Oh man, I shot Marvin in the face.
You farted on Marvin. Anyway, so it burns LNG, so liquefied natural gas, okay? Sound guy, stop. Which includes potent methane leaks. Really? Really? Also known as methane slip.
Oh man, I shot Marvin in the face. What? Did you do that? I didn't mean to do it. It was an accident.
You dick!
You shot Marvin in the face with... Stop! Okay, so although the new ferry has improved local air quality by cutting sulfur and nitrogen oxides, its overall carbon footprint is worse, underscoring that totally sustainable solutions like the battery electric or hydrogen-powered ferries used elsewhere in Europe are needed to genuinely reduce shipping climate impact. So I guess they're talking about, okay, natural gas, sound guy. Sound guy. Sound guy. Sound guy, really? What in the world? Okay, sounds like somebody's riding a motorcycle, after eating Taco Bell. Dude. Anyway, enough about that story, okay? Stop. So anyway, natural gas problems make more... I really tend to think that this boat was just probably way more trouble than it was ever worth. All they should have done is simply just stick to diesel, and they would have been just fine. Ugh. Methane slip, is that what they call it now? Yeah, methane slip. You had to give him open... No, you don't know. No. Really? You had to give him methane slip. Yeah. Anyway, methane slip. Yeah, I don't know if that really even... You know what? That'd actually be a pretty cool band name. Oh, what's your band's name? Methane Slip. What's your first song? Oh, stop it. Jeez. Anyway, I'm sure you guys have heard this whole thing about, the autism and how much they're losing their mind over the fact that Trump said probably you don't want to take Tylenol or acetaminophen if you're pregnant. And they're like, oh no, we're going to have to take these pills just to spite them. We're going to have to take these pills just to spite Trump. So some of them have done not completely unstupid things, but absolutely blithingly stupid things and overdosed on Tylenol and DI'd like done duck. Like, dude, how could you possibly be so stupid to think that taking something OTC is going to be harmless taken in large quantities? They even say on the label, this is not good for you if you eat too much. Well, anyway, they kept going on about Trump, RFK Jr., what the hell does he always do the FDR thing? What the heck does RFK Jr. know about, medication and this, that, and the other thing? Well, lo and behold, there is a tweet from Tylenol, and it says Tylenol, with the registered thing right next to the name. So that is them. That's their registered trademark at Tylenol. So on Twitter, or X, formerly Twitter, So they said this expressly, coming in 7 March 2017. 8 years ago, folks. 8 freaking years ago. Like 8 years, 6 months almost. So they said this expressly. We actually don't recommend using any of our products while pregnant. Thank you for taking the time to voice your concerns today. That sounds remarkably like, don't do it! Wow. Wow. How unbelievably stupid do you have to be to take this stuff and think that it's just going to slide?
Oh my.
Yeah, it just doesn't fly. Especially because, oh yeah, Trump actually is correct. And RFK Jr. is definitely correct. Wow. I don't know if you guys saw this news story or not. This is absolutely hilarious. This is hoisting somebody by their own petard, thinking that they were going to get one over on the MAGA crowd, Trumpers. All right, so this chick by the name of Autumn Perkins ordered Charlie Kirk's favorite Starbucks beverage at Middletown, Ohio, at the Kroger's, which is a grocery chain. So Charlie's go-to, and I do mean Charlie Kirk, was called Mint Majesty, which is a tea. And he used to get it with 2 honeys. He used to drink the crap out of that stuff because supposedly he would lose his voice if he didn't keep himself hydrated drinking this tea. It was like his secret weapon so that he never lost his voice. Well, anyway, when Autumn received her order, the barista had written the word racist fave drink on the side of the cup. Well, Autumn said, oh, hell no. Told the manager, and the staffer was unceremoniously hit can. I'm thinking it was like, you're out of here. Yeah, and they probably were outside going, but I'm so secure in my technology of knowing what I'm talking about. And yeah, never be silent, never back down, make right all wrongs. Be a happy warrior and caffeinated too, she says in the thing. So it's Todd Starnes on his, I believe it was a Twitter post, may have been on his Facebook post. But basically, if you're going to play these kind of stupid games, well, let's dance. Yeah, you're going to be standing out in the parking lot, but I'm so secure in my knowledge. No, you're just going to get... Actually, sound guy, try that one on the glass. Kind of like that one. That one's good. Try that one again. Yeah, kick him out the window.
Oh my.
Yeah, oh my. Anyway, scrolly. Some of these got to be really, really careful about because the way I phrase stuff on Facebook, sound guy singing a good night tonight. Oh, don't get him started, man. He'll be doing all kinds of stupid stuff, okay? See, you had to get him going. You see, he's actually, if you think of like, people are sopranos or tenors or, baritones, he's an ascertainer. He really just likes to sing out his ass. He's an ascertainer. Anyway, so it's been posited that this guy basically was zapping the people at the church. I posited the notion, if gun laws worked, why did he have a firearm? Yeah. Going into that, shutdown thing yet again, Nolte. Trump plans mass firing of bureaucrats if Trump shut down the government. The White House has already instructed federal agencies to plan for mass firings if Democrats shut down the government. Okay, Trump doesn't draw lines in the sand and go, this is the red line, you better not cross it. He's not Obama, okay? When he draws a red line, That's the red line, man. He's not going, okay, I'm just drawing this line in the sand, and if you step over it, I'm going to draw another line. If you step over that, I'm going to draw another one. And if you step over that, I'm going to draw another one. I'm going to say, this is the red, green, purple, blue, orange, yellow. He doesn't play that game. So the shutdown deadline is the 30th, which is today. So midnight, done. The Office of Management and Budget memo reads in part, with respect to those federal programs whose funding could lapse and would otherwise be unfunded, such programs are no longer statutorily required to be carried out. Thor's hammer. Done. Done. Therefore, consistent with applicable law, including the requirements of 5 CFR Part 351, agencies are directed to use this opportunity to consider reduction in force, or RIF. Notices for employees in programs or activities, PPAs, that satisfy all three of the following conditions. 1, discretionary funding lapses on October 1, 2025, which would be when? Not that long ago. Another source of funding, such as H.R. 1, Public Law 11921, is not currently available. And 3, the PPA is not consistent with the president's priorities. Translation. You Democrats have put yourselves in a corner, painted yourself in, and said, you know what? No, that's not enough. We really need to do more. We just need a couple gallons of gas and a match. Yeah, and then you,
Oh my.
yeah, you literally paint yourselves in a corner, dump gasoline, and set it on fire, okay? He's already said what his intentions are. Trump doesn't need to be cute. He doesn't need to be, disingenuous. He doesn't need to be blithely stashing things to use on you guys later. He doesn't do that. He tells you exactly what he's going to do. You Democrats haven't quite figured out the fact yet that when the guy says he's going to do something, he does it. It's not hard to see for what it is. He tells you he's going to do it, and then he does do it. So in the past, unnecessary bureaucrats have been furloughed during government shutdowns and brought back after the deal was reached, which made all normal people wonder why we need unnecessary bureaucrats at all. Now, Mrs. Dude has been a government employee since like high school, and she's actually part of, one of those agencies we don't talk about. I tend to think she's probably coming back without too much problem. I tend to think that the guys that they're looking at right now was the 80,000 IRS agents that Joe Biden said we absolutely need to have in the IRS. The way that they made bloated amounts of, feel-good hirings to buy votes during Joe Biden's administration. And those times where those guys got brought in because they knew somebody. Sorbet Creek and Fort Major. Yeesh. Don't tell him that sound guy. He'll come up with something and the place will no. I'll be running cans of Lysol for a week after he gets done playing that tune. You don't want to know what it smells like in here now. You just don't. So this is powerful leverage for Trump because Democrats love bureaucrats, but bureaucrats vote Democrat, and 2 make up the deep state that constantly foils the will of normal people when a Republican is in office. So why don't the Democrats vote to fund the government? After all, it's a simple process. The Republicans offered an easy-peasy, clean continuing resolution, which would essentially says that the government will carry on spending like it has for the next 7 weeks. They don't want to give him a win. Let's see. According to Republicans, Senate Minority Leader F. Chuck U. Schumer, Democrat New York, counter-offered a demand for $1.4 trillion in new spending that, among other things, reinstates free health care for illegal aliens and funding for the far-left NPR and PBS, but also pays to mutilate little kids to appease the left's demonic trans goals. For For his part, President Trump is so disgusted with the Democrat Party's demands, he's canceled a meeting with top Democrats, saying after reviewing the details of the unserious and ridiculous demands being made by the minority radical left Democrats in return for their votes to keep our thriving country open, I have decided that no meeting with the congressional leaders could possibly be productive. And then he detailed their absurd demands. Free healthcare for aliens, a monumental cost. Force taxpayers to pay for transgender surgery for minors. Have dead people in the Medicare rolls. Allow illegal alien criminals to steal billions of dollars in American taxpayer benefits. To try to force the country to open again our borders to criminals in the world. To allow men to play in women's sports. And essentially create transgender operations for everybody. That's coming in from Breitbart.com. And it goes on a bit more, but wow. They're literally saying, we're not going to sign or vote for anything until you give us everything we want. Translation, the Democrats still don't realize they don't run the show. Remember that story last week where I told you that, F. Chuck Schumer basically was going, you can't do that in the Senate. And then it's like, we just need a simple majority because we only need the votes. Why? Because your guy, Dirty Dingy Harry, got rid of any form of ability to keep the thing going. And we told him, in no uncertain terms, you remove the filibuster, this is going to happen, and it's not going to work out for you. Would you stop with that? Really? 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 Stop. 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 Really? Really? Anyway, so, looking at things as it is now, it's just basically a big old amount of, it's not monkey feces. It's not monkey feces, okay?
I'm Mr. Meeseeks. Look at me.
I don't even want to know how he got those sounds. Wow. Do not want to know. Just don't. But I do know it is not. I know it's not monkey feces. Stop. Stop. This one's kind of a little bit of a strange one, but this one's coming in from a poster on X, formerly Twitter. Miranda Devine, and it's at Miranda A Devine, or Miranda Devine. It is Miranda at Miranda Devine. Donald and Melania Trump were very cool when the UN escalator stopped abruptly. Like the pros they are, they went on with the show. But a lip reader viewing footage through the windows of Marine One that night suggests how they really felt about the frightening incident and reveals a husband and wife who care deeply about each other, contrary to the hate media wishes. Quote, I can't forgive them. They tried to hurt you, Trump said to his wife. Melania replies, we can't do this. We should stay safe. You're not safe, she replied. Wow. And that's literally just like looking through the window for the quick interaction taking place there. But, I do think it's absolutely hilarious when you have the counter on the other side of the aisle. This one, I think, I truly cannot do this one justice except for simply be very snarky and very Gen X. So, Autism Capital, at Autism Capital on X. And there's a picture of Melania grinning like a Cheshire cat as Trump is doing his spiel. When your wife knows cutting your teleprompter, they're going to have to listen to you ramble for an extra hour about whatever comes to your mind, with a smiley face. So I put in there, autism guys saying that a billionaire president rambles, end quote, quote unquote. How adorable. Please tell us succinctly how you describe world events in a 5-minute soliloquy, aside from the usually mumblings of rampant brain fart statements, obscure notices, followed by observations of nothing at all. That's not a Trump speech. He does kind of do this self-edification thing a little bit, but wow. Speaking of things getting really strange, hang on a second here, let me find this real fast. Let me find the appropriate. I got this one, sound guy. I got this one, okay? I got it. In this episode of Cops Down Under, seems the police in Queensland are going, oh snap, everybody's chasing after us. Yeah, like they're literally abandoning their posts because they're being chased by the bad guys, and the bad guys are going, we have nothing to fear because you guys are wimps. So literally the cops are bailing out because the Queensland government says, oh no, don't do anything, let those guys have their way, it's perfectly fine. No, it's not perfectly fine. So anyway, the Queensland cops are bailing, and they're going to different areas, and they're leaving Queensland. I know it's Queensland, but they're leaving Queensland. Oh, man. So cops leave Victoria for Queensland as crime hits a record high. So I guess this Victoria is the province, and they're bailing out for Queensland. Oh, man, that's just too funny. Oh, you can't really chase off the bad guys because, we want the bad guys to just, they're fine. It's okay. No, dude, they're ready to bash into your skull, and you guys in the city office are saying, hey, don't fight him too much. They're all right. No, they're not all right. They're ready to bash into your skull, dude. They're just ready to go. Oh, man. Scrolly. This meme I found, I gotta do this one proper here. So let me do this one, sound guy. I got this one. No, stop.
Enough is enough. I have had it with these mother on this mother plane. Everybody strap in. I'm about to open some windows.
Sound guy. No, you don't get a dun for cats on a plane. Okay? Stop that. Dude. How can you even just say that one is, worthy? All right. So this meme I found absolutely had me in tears. And I'm going to have to be kind of generic on how I say this. But let's just say the zoo is a pretty safe place to fart.
Blow it out your ass.
S hit my pants in the gift shop. So, dude basically blew it out his ass, and S hit his pants in the gift shop. Kind of almost like you're basically doing like a, hey, what am I doing today? Kind of, update thing on the internet. So funny. This one I think is absolutely just like so illustrative of the misunderstood components of the LP. And the problem is sometimes LP, Libertarian Party, is really not good at voicing their positions. Other times that they basically say, well, this is how we are. They're sometimes really, really not voiced very good at all. And that's being very kind in that statement. So, person by the name of Spike Cohen with a blue check. So that's obviously somebody notable. So, at real Spike Cohen. So the quote goes as thus. Quote, libertarians are not, quote, fiscally conservative and socially liberal, end quote. We are, quote, it's your money, end quote. And socially, quote, it's your business, end quote. We are not a hodgepodge of Republicans and Democrats. We are liberators who seek to dismantle the gravy train we built on your back. Or sorry, they've built on your backs. That's it exactly, man. They're basically the beard and leave us alone party. Or the beard dope and leave us alone party. Now that dope's been pretty much quasi legalized, it's going to get a little strange. I think LP really truly now has to define themselves differently. Another meme that I found absolutely cracked me up. So it was one of those Seinfeld things where, the Seinfeld, I got to be careful how I say this, but the Seinfeld S-hit posting. And you see Seinfeld talking to one of the other guys, and he's like, yeah, he's autistic. And the other guy goes, what's an autistic exactly? And you see Kramer go, they're pronounced Tylenol Americans. I just thought that was hilarious. I don't know if you guys saw this one or not. This is technology moving forward and absolutely hilarious in its execution. Just give me 1 second here. You guys remember during Biden's time where they had the mystery Chinese balloon floating over the don't talk about it areas, kind of scoping things out and then say, okay, I'm going to fart off. Well, China supposedly has a secret airbase, like their Area 51. Did we need a balloon to see it? No. Elon Musk was checking it out with his SpaceX Starlink satellite. What did he do? He photobombed the orbital view of a secret Chinese airbase. Oops. So one of SpaceX's broadband beaming Starlink satellites has been captured overflying a top secret area in an airbase in China that was photographed by private American Earth observation satellites. That stuff, as long as it's not covered with clouds, those satellites are going to see what you're up to. Oh, man. Too funny. This one is absolutely blanking epic. So, this is going to be in the quote-unquote never should have been pissed away in the first place. Coming in from Reuters.com, the U.S. intends to cancel $13 billion in funds for green energy to the Department of Energy, or the DOE. So it intends to cancel more than $13 billion in funds that the Biden administration had pledged to subsidize with wind, solar, and batteries and electric vehicles, it said on Wednesday. It was not immediately clear which funds were being targeted. The department did not immediately respond to requests for more details. I'm sure they are pissy. And I'm sure they're very, very not happy about this. Losing $13 billion. Oh, I'm sure that really just made them just go, yeah, that probably just really chapped their butts. In no uncertain terms, it was, yeah, I'm sure it was really, oh no. So anyway, we all can say, for 13 billion coming back or not being spent in the first place for some frivolous execution on technology we didn't need to buy in the first place, except by the green mandate and that 2035 thing that's been floating around for a while where they say, oh, no, we got to have this new world thing going on. Not even new world order, but just new world. I think even the EU is realizing just as long as we're doing it, it's not going to fly. Yeah, because you're buying tons of Russian gas. You're not self-sufficient, mostly because, oh yeah, most of Europe is not exactly sunny and bright most of the year. Yeesh. Wow. I don't know if I could read this one, but I did think it was pretty hilarious. I would tend to think that they would hand this person off that was the respondee to the HR department and say, this person is not a good recruiter. Yeah, let's do it like this. Okay, Urology of St. Louis. Okay, that's already giving you kind of a clue with the area. Yeah. So, the guy, the person, I don't even know who that person is, but, oh, okay, that's what it is. It was actually the Urology of St. Louis reaching out to this other person. Okay, so this is the, the boss or the partially almost kind of foot in the door boss reaching out to a potential person. Yeah, here we go. Hi, we scheduled for a video interview today, but I wasn't able to contact with you. I'm assuming you're no longer interested and will move forward with another candidate. Thank you. Respondee responded thusly. My phone was dead. I'm so sorry. Can we reschedule? Urology of St. Louis. You knew you had an interview at this time, but you didn't charge your phone. I'm not sure we'll be the right fit. So obviously there was something missing there. Actually, my sister used my phone and took my phone off the charger. She's 4, but you're right. This wouldn't be a good fit because your mouth is too slick and I would hate to slap the S hit out of you. Have a great day. I would tend to think your name is going to get passed around and they're going to say, hey, this obnoxious, person you probably don't even want to consider as a possible candidate. I'm pretty much sure that they got the big X through their name, as in, don't attempt to resubmit. Wow. Le big Martinez Sasquatch. Le big oof. Yeah, if you're getting blown off by a potential employer like that, and you're basically being snarky back, ain't happening. You're done. You're just done, duck. I don't know if you guys saw this one. I really, wow. Okay, you remember that chick that sued Lyft because the guy was like, you're like an elephant. You're not climbing in my car. You're too big. Okay, that was possibly one of the worst Godzilla imitations ever. Sound guy. Yeah, that was weak. We're gonna have to work on that one, okay? That was not even a good Godzilla. But, considering Smedley the elephant, that rapper chick, yeesh, she didn't even really fit in the guy's car. She's like, oh no, you need to sit forward. Oh, you need to get a bigger car. Oh, you need to this, that, and the other thing. So anyway, the Detroit rapper Dank DeMoss, 500 pounds to remind you, shows off a gigantic new van. Yeah, I tend to think that she she needed something bigger. She needed something. Yeah. You're trying to stuff that in there and
thing sucks.
Yeah. Well, anyway, so it shows off her just said gigantic. Didn't say whether it was hers or not. I'm going to assume it's hers, okay? Shows off a gigantic new van after filing a lawsuit against Lyft for refusing her service due to her size. As an Uber driver and former Lyft driver, I can tell you for a fact, if somebody that big is coming out and they look like they're going to be like Smedley trying to stuff the elephant in the keyhole, no, it's going to be like, thanks, no, goodbye, cancel, goodbye, done. That's literally all you have to do is cancel the ride. And if she tries to complain, it's like, he saw me and canceled the ride. It's like, yeah, I thought the situation was unsafe. I saw something going on. I didn't want to be there any longer. And I just said, putting her in my car would be,
thing sucks.
Anyway, filed a discrimination lawsuit against the company for denying her service. Dude should have just canceled and rolled. During the incident, the driver informed the rapper she could not fit in his car and suggested she order an XL vehicle. She then claims that she was the victim of, discrimination. Now, here's the part that really, truly sucks. The guy, obviously because they now had to have a scapegoat, was fired from Lyft. Or at least that's the story is supposedly he was fired for refusing her service. I would have just canceled and just rolled. So anyway, Beefinator there complained. She says she's 500 pounds. The user also claimed that DeMoss bought a van and now has her own chauffeur, attaching a video of her boarding a van. I really, truly wish I had that, elephant, carnival, was it the elephant circus music? I really wish I had that on file, but I probably took the copyright hit. Bought a van, now rolls for their own chauffeur. Yeesh. No official statement from Lyft regarding the firing of the driver. The user's claim of DeMoss owning a van also appears to be false. The video of her is from an Instagram page where she declared that the ride belongs to her good friend, rapper Fliggy Flex. I'm going to have to assume that she ate all that and she's kind of damn broke. So the driver saw the 500-pound rapper, told her he was able to give her a ride due to her weight. Tomas, who was recording the whole incident, replied, "I can fit in this car." However, the driver dismissed her assurance and said, "Believe me, you can't." He then went on to explain to Tomas the tires of the vehicles couldn't handle her weight. He even apologized to her and shared that she could order a ride on Uber XL, which is a large-sized vehicle. The driver offered to refund the ride, sharing that she won't be charged for it. Tomas shared the video. This is coming in from fandomwire.com. Like I said previously, I would have just canceled the ride and bailed because putting that thing in there would have been just
This is my boomstick. Put that thing back where it came from, or so help me.
That's it, man. Game over, man. It's game over.
Yeah, she would have just had they find a leaf spring strong enough, Patriot fever. Well, it's probably a commercial vehicle, so you know it's rated for heavy duty loads. 500 pounds. Yeah, there's only one thing I can think of right off the bat. I'd never ever want to be her plumber. Oh. Hey, it's clogged up. It's not working right. Yipes. Yipes. That just sounds like utter torture. It's like, all I'm doing is flushing it. Nothing's happening. It's just not working. Oh, God. Okay, anyway. Oh, no. No, dude, no. No, They don't make a bigger toilet for bigger people, okay? They make a toilet that can basically handle somebody of that weight, but they don't make something that could just, yes. No, that's just, no. Sound guy, no.
What?
No, sound guy, no. I'm thinking, as soon as she basically drops trow and turns around and puts ham on target, I'm sure the toilet's just going, dick!
You dick!
Yeah, I'm sure. Oh. Sound guy. The idea of that going, yipes. Just, yes. Yeah. It could be worse. She could be laying down going, "Hey, baby, why don't you give me some lovin'?" Yeah, because I don't think anybody wants to go, nobody wants to dive. I'm gonna try to keep it like, G rated, but nobody, let's just say nobody wants to dive. Yipes. Nobody wants to dive. Yipes. Wow. That's just bad juju. Donald Trump post on X, formerly known as Twitter. Let's be clear. If Schumer dares to follow through with shutting down the government, President Trump gains an unprecedented opportunity, to exert his executive power like never before. Imagine the implications: wholesale layoffs and impoundment of funds as far as the eye can see. The Democrats are completely trapped in their own web of incompetence and betrayal. They are so utterly and completely screwed, and the consequences of their actions will come back to haunt them. This is a critical moment for the strength of our nation. Yikes. They really... Wow. Here's the other thing, too, is they really, truly don't want the government to stay at current levels. Because here's the thing. They don't want the Biden budget limit to keep going. The Biden limit. They want to increase spending to such a point it is unsupportable. Where you have the Cliven, something Cliven, whatever, where you basically crash the economy and then make it so that essentially everything has to be done socialist because the country is just destitute. So, Democrats forced shutdown to block spending levels set under Biden. Congressional Democrats appear hell-bent on shutting down the government to prevent a short-term extension of spending levels originally set by a Democrat president. Democrat gave it the force and shutdown would temporarily please the radical base that has caused an increasingly personal political peril for House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries, also known as Dead Eyes. Mr. 24-hour talking smack crap guy. And Senate Minority Leader Chuck U. Schumer. Yet with no apparent path of the shutdown which Democrats secure meaningful wins, and with a shutdown presenting the Trump White House the authority to enact widespread cuts throughout the executive branch, the long-term benefits for the party are difficult to determine. Any exit ramp for Democrats is likely to be bumpy, and whatever road takes them down will lead them to even more empowered and emboldened Trump White House. Yipes. They did it to themselves. So, Jeffries, Chuck U. Schumer, Senate Minority Leader John Thune, a Republican, South Dakota, and White House Speaker Mike Johnson, Republican from Louisiana, I think, are scheduled to meet with President Donald Trump at the White House in a meeting requested by Chuck U. Schumer. But few expect any progress from the meeting. Republicans who hold the White House and both chambers of Congress appear determined to stick with their own chosen path forward. The White House passed a clean continuing resolution September 19 to continue current spending levels until November 21. Those spending levels originally passed during Joe Kaka's presidency and were extending through the end of the current fiscal year, September 30th, 2025, in a CR in March. Just hours later, the House passed clean CR failed in the Senate. Senator John Fetterman, Democrat from Pennsylvania, was the only Democrat who voted for the CR. They needed 9 Democrats. Republican Senators Rand Paul, Kentucky, and Lisa Murkowski opposed the deal. Why? Because they always do that. That's one of the things I really, truly detest about Rand Paul. He can't go, I'm just going to basically continue the thing just so we can try to win. He goes, no. I'm such a hardcore libertarian wannabe that I'm just going to vote against any budget that increases the dollar amount any. It's like, dude, you possibly simply should just vote for the budget and allow them to fix it later because Trump has already said he wants to approach these things and not,
Oh, you touch me.
Dude, really? You have to touch your tra-la-la. All right, so Thune plans to bring the bill back up for vote on Tuesday, giving Democrats one more chance to keep the government's doors open. Schumer and his minions are Chuck U. Schumer and his minions are unlikely to have second thoughts. Democrats in messaging against the bill are leaning heavily on health care, a rare issue as they see providing them with the opportunity in 2026 midterm elections. The health care they're talking about is for illegal aliens. It's for this trans surgery stuff. It's not for the everyman American. Okay? Let's be completely honest here with what they're trying to predispose us towards and screw us up. Ugh. Most notably, Democrats want to use the 7-week bill to extend Obamacare subsidies to not expire until the end of 2025. Republicans argue a short-term bill is an inappropriate vehicle to attach such a consequential rider, which deserves its own thorough debate. No kidding. But that's the way Democrats do stuff, is they put these poison pills on things and go, oh, well, that should really, really work. No, it doesn't work. Yeah. Republicans in the majority are unlikely to undo the signature legislative achievements. It just keeps going, folks, and it's more and more and more and more and more and more. Have you guys heard about this one or not? If you hear this name, this might mean something. Plumber is lucky, imagine poor guy. No, Martinez Sasquatch. We're going in. Oh, here's the gynecologist.
He's dead, Jeff.
Tony Montana, I got you, cockroach.
Okay. Apparently the gynecologist had a really, really bad day. Sound guy, could you possibly help the guy out? Oh, you beamed him back to the Enterprise.
He's dead, Jeff.
Oh, God. Apparently, going and checking that girl out is just bad. Oh, man. Wait. Getting back to what I was saying before, I was so rudely sound guide. That actually should be an adjective at this point. I got sound guide. If you guys hear this name, it might mean something to you in a little while. But, I got to go from north to south, so let me just dive right in. And I'm not talking about dank, whatever, skank, dank. She is dank. Patriot Fever? No, let me just basically just toss her ass in the crematorium and stand back as it burns for the next 14 hours. And I do mean, like, the entire building burns for the next 14 hours. It's a grease fire. Anyway, let me get into this story here and stop talking about skank the tank. Oh, good grief, as if real actors weren't annoying enough. Now they're making fake AI ones. Hollywood talent agencies have reportedly been looking to sign AI actress Tilly Norward. So I read TILLYNORWARD. Tilly Norward. What does she look like? Well, she kind of looks almost like if you kind of smush together like a Latino and an Italian chick. Raven hair, dark eyed. Maybe a little bit of Greta Sachi kind of a thing, but with dark eyes. I don't know. Looks about like 20-ish in the image that they're showing with this. So anyway, the first creation of AI talent agency, and I think it's Zicoia. So it's Xicoia. I think it's Zicoia or Zycoia. Founded by actor, comedian, technologist Elaine Eline. So Elaine van der Velden. The AI talent studio has set its rights on creating digital movie stars with Tilly Nord as its first project. Speaking on a panel at the Zurich Summit this past Saturday alongside Verena Poom, so Puhm, head of Luma AI's new dream studio, Lab LA, van der Velden said the studios are quietly embracing AI. Quote, we've had a lot of boardrooms around February time, and everyone was like, no, this is nothing. It's not going to happen. Then by May, people were like, we need to do something with you guys. When we first launched Tilly, people were like, what's that? And now we're going to be announcing which agency will be representing her for the next few months, said van der Velden. According to the deadline, the revelations just days ahead of Velden officially announced the creation of Particle 6 All-Shoot Ziacoia, when AI talent studio design, create, manage, and monetize a new generation of hyper-real digital stars. Okay, the only thing I want to see is I want to see her basically in very compromising positions in possibly the most obscene way possible. And I want to see people doing memes of that when it's like, oh, no, you can't take our AI actress and basically make her a slut. It's like, yeah, we can. It's AI. Hey, Grok, can you take this thing and make her look like a total slut? Yeah, I could do that. Patriot Fever, stand by on that one. I have a story about Mr. Bibani. Mr. Bibani. I have a story about Mr. Bibani. Let's see. Scroll. So anyway, they're now basically, they're now putting this thing out there that they now have an AI actress. Dog is losing his stuff. Somebody just came home. I don't know if you guys have seen this one or not. This one is absolutely worth the price of admittance. And I do mean, like, just click on the page. So if you hang on a second, I got to open this image up in another tab so I can actually see it because the font is kind of small. So if you go to HUD.gov, and I do mean like HUD, like Housing of Urban Development, if you go to that homepage right now, let's just say that the Democrats are absolutely crapping kittens with the new homepage for Housing and Urban Development. I like it. It's this big red banner, and it says this exactly. The radical left are going to shut down the government and inflict massive pain on the American people unless they get their $1.5 trillion wish list of demands. The Trump administration wants to keep the government open for the American people. Whoa! Nobody does this. Trump is like the ultimate, absolute mega troll. Holy crap. Now, if you guys heard about this one, not but supposedly, they brought back, Jimmy Kimmel on ABC. Supposedly 1.7 million people, subscribers, whining and complaining, suspended their subscription to Disney. Sorry, you're going to lose either way, dude. I think that may have been more people saying, oh, I'm not doing this. I'm not supporting this crap anymore. They're bailing. I don't think it's more people going, you, Thor's hammer, you Disney guys, you didn't support Jimmy Kimmel. I don't think that's the case at all. I don't think I saw this one or not, but if you look on Netflix now, there's a video called Poop Cruise. And I cannot do this one justice. It is literally... Poop cruise. Like there was a Caribbean cruise line boat, had major issues, lost power, and the thing proceeded to have a list and started filling up with stuff. Let's just say it really started filling up with... Yeah, it started filling up with his day is not complete unless absolutely he gets to hit the fart noises 30 to 40 times. Okay, and it's just... Anyway, so the Poop Cruise, you got to see it. It is literally a tale of just bad juju. So anyway, looking on right now, the Royal Caribbean has had an issue. Now, I looked at the itinerary of this boat, and the itinerary consisted of a couple stops in Mexico. Literally, it left out of L.A., went around, cut through, I think it went through the canal, basically cutting through the middle of, South America. It went around and then ended up in Miami. However, they got a case of norovirus. Oops. So, Royal Caribbean on the Serenity of the Seas had their own version of Poop Cruise. Yipes. To which I say they stopped a couple times in Mexico. I'm betting somebody got Montezuma revenge, brought it on board, and decided to share. Yipes. So, Royal Caribbean Cruise is just hit with major norovirus outbreak. Why cruise ships are a breeding ground for disease. The outbreak in 1919 is the 19th gastrointestinal incident on a cruise ship in 2025. Yikes. I've never gotten sick on a cruise ship, ever. So dozens of people traveling the Royal Caribbean cruise have been sickened due to a norovirus outbreak. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention reported on September 29. At least 71 people have come down with the gastrointestinal illness aboard the Serenade of the Seas voyage from San Diego to Miami. San Diego. The cruise set sail on September 19 and is due to dock on October 2. 13 days on Poop Cruise. Health and safety of the guests, crew, and communities of the cruise ship's visit are top priority. Company noted they implement rigorous cleaning procedures, many of which exceed public health guidelines in order to maintain the health, clean, and environment niceties on board. Okay, here's the part. Here's the part most people don't know about. Norovirus is highly contagious. It's a gastrointestinal illness. Symptoms include diarrhea, vomiting, nausea, and stomach cramps. but it usually lasts for 1 to 3 days, and people usually experience symptoms for 12 to 48 hours after exposure. Here's the best part. Can be contracted by eating or drinking contaminated food, touching contaminated surfaces, then your mouth, or through close contact with an infected person. I never, ever touch a public thing and then touch my eyes, my nose, my mouth, anything like that. Most times when I go to touch something, I'll touch it with the back of my hand or I'll touch it with a knuckle. I will not touch it with a contact surface. Well, here's the thing that's really, really fun about it is essentially neurovirus, you can't get rid of it with just hand sanitizer. It doesn't kill it. There's no drugs or vaccines for it, so it's a major health issue. Essentially, you get it, it has to run its course, and that's the best part about it. I'm trying to give a picture of fever saying there. Lizzo and Lift, if chicken must have been. I don't know what you mean there, dude. Anyway, so scroll. So essentially, you can't kill that stuff with just hand sanitizer, and that's all they do. Is like they have these big containers of hand sanitizer, and like, hey, washy, and they're squirting this crap in everybody's hands, and they're like, oh, we're germ free now, we're safe. No, you're not. No, you're not. I don't think I've heard about it or not, but it's now been announced what's going to be the halftime show at the Super Bowl. I don't watch football. I do not watch the Super Bowl. And frankly, the only halftime show I give any precedence to as being like something that was kind of cool was the one that Prince did. That one I thought was really, really flippin' cool. Badass even. Started pouring down rain. Dude still put on an amazing show. Wow. So, punk-ass whiny bitch who now thinks making money in the U.S. is, well, after saying he's never going to be there ever again, is just ducky. Yeah, I'm talking about Bad Bunny. So, Bad Bunny, also known as Benito Antonio Martinez Ocasio, I don't think there's any relation. Well, here's the thing. He's like, I don't want to make money in the United States because they're so this, that, and the other thing. This stupid, I'm going to say it, this stupid prick is from Puerto Rico. He's already a naturalized American citizen being born in Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico is a territory of these United States. Go there, come back as many times as you want. No passport needed. Been there. It's basically the United States, okay? It's a 51st state, essentially, without major voting rights. If you don't pay taxes, you don't get to vote. If you pay taxes, you get to vote. I don't know if you can vote for the president, but there is certain, quirks and things about it. So that's the way it works on that one, is you can either pay taxes or not pay taxes. If you don't pay taxes, you don't get to vote. So they've said essentially now that this prick is going to be the guy performing at the halftime show. Well, there's now pictures out of him standing around playing Bunny Foo-Foo, standing around in a dress with high heels. Ugh. So they say he's anti-ICE, anti-Trump, anti-this, anti-that. I see no reason to give this guy even a half a moment's interest on even like introspection of, yeah, he's a dirtbag. Not even a moment. Wow. I've never heard about this one or not, but supposedly now it's getting very interesting where Israel and the United States have told Hamas, the war is over, you've lost, it's time to give back those people that are still alive and hand back the remains of those people that were in your custody when their demise occurred. The war is over. You lost. Also, since we now can claim ground as known as that area which you supposedly thought you had, even though you had it for 20 years and the Jews were like, hey, play nice, we're not going to bug you. You guys kept instigating, kept messing with the Jews, kept throwing rockets on them. So eventually they said, you know what? We can't just let this go anymore. We have to respond in kind. So now it's come out to be that Hamas is now going, well, we tried to scroll around. We pretty much got our asses handed to us. Perhaps we should make a deal. Yeah, well, I got bad news for you. You're not going to make a deal. They're going to tell you what it is. You either take it or you continue getting your ass kicked. That's how it is. And that's the news. So scrolly. This I find absolutely hilarious. And make this my last story there because we're getting later. But This I found absolutely hilarious. This is the Republicans treating the Democrats the way that the Democrats treated the Republicans, and the Democrats really don't like it at all. So, once they stop acting like a-holes, maybe, just maybe, they'll take a second to swear in your newest a-hole. I don't know. But this isn't about the Epstein files. This is merely gaslighting. They want another person to have a vote, and they're not confirming somebody who is newly elected. So Speaker Mike Johnson and the House Republican leaders refused requests of the Democrats to swear in Representative-elect Adelita Grijalva. I think it's Grijalva, Democrat from Arizona, on Tuesday, saying she will be sworn in when the House returns to regular session. Okay, that's not so far outside the mark, but the Democrats really, really want to have another vote. This is not about, well, you guys are just holding back on releasing the Epstein files, and she wants to really have that vote on the Epstein files. It's crap, okay? She's not the one that's holding back. We're not the one that's holding back. You just want to have another vote. You lost another vote because you're playing games. They're not going to confirm her. You guys cannot force the Democrat regime to make the Republicans do anything. You guys are screwed. Scrolly. Let's see. Is there anything else going on? No, I said there was the last story. Okay. So I guess I'm going to go with that. Yeah, it's long enough. Oh, okay. He's now playing the music. All right, folks, you got many other things to do on a Tuesday. Decided to hang with me. I thank you guys so much for hanging out. Sorry about the sound being weird at the start. I didn't change anything. It's been running and gunning, good stuff like that there. Martina Sasquatch says, PR in Guam get local votes and are nationals, not citizens. It's weird. Okay, I'll give you that one. Hang on a second here. Let me do something real fast. I'm trying to get this in before the video ends. Let me do that, okay? Bam! Put it in the chat room. All right, folks, I'm going to break up this one. Thank you for hanging out with me. Get a gold star for attendance, good stuff like that there. I will see you next week, unless I come up with something sooner. I got many ideas, but it's just putting it down. Ugh, sometimes too much. All right, I'm going to break up this one, folks. Have a good one. Catch you guys later. Good stuff like that there. I will see you then, and have a good week. See you guys.